What's up, ladies and gents? This is KSigKid coming at you with another Destiny video. So here we are Sunday and we're wrapping up the Iron Banner already. Yes, that's right. I know some people already hit their rank 5 on Tuesday, pretty much whenever it came out. But I ended up finishing up on all 3 of my characters last night. And we're going to show you all of the loot. And I mean all of the loot. Now think about all the previous Iron Banner loot videos that we've done. Pretty much we end up talking about Iron Banner a little bit, we show some Iron Banner clips, and then at the end, we end up showing off 3 pieces of loot, and that's it. Well, geez, with all of this new Iron Banner changes, we're going to show like 6 pieces of loot on each character. It's just absolutely incredible, absolutely amazing. So this Iron Banner has been a lot of fun. I still have 0 ghosts, so hopefully tonight, if I don't do a raid, hopefully I just jump into Iron Banner some more and hopefully get that ghost. I desperately need a ghost. Some of my characters can hit up to light level 386 and they still have that 382 ghost, so I really need at least a 385 ghost. In faction packages, they're not working. Nightfalls, well, they gave me the 382 ghost, but I don't have anything higher than that still, and nothing yet from the Iron Banner, nothing yet from all of those faction packages, seriously. Between the Vanguard, the Crucible, the various faction guys, absolutely nothing, and that's really sad. That is really sad. So let's talk about Iron Banner Supremacy just briefly. It was very different. If you watched my first Iron Banner Supremacy video the other day, I ended up talking about that I have never done Supremacy before until the Iron Banner. So I had a lot of catching up and a lot of getting used to. And it's just chaotic. Chaos is just the only word I keep coming back to for this. Pretty much whenever you think you're safe, you're not safe. You're going to be shot at from behind, from all over. People are all over the place. Shotgun heavy, which is why I ended up doing that video yesterday talking about the shotgun ranges, because I know people are going to be complaining about shotguns and talking about how they're just ruining the game. But really, shotguns are just intrinsically tied into Supremacy. It's just the way that it is. People are so aggressive in Supremacy. It is far different from anything else that we've seen in the game, especially whenever you compare this to something like Trials. I would say Clash, except for Clash can get pretty aggressive depending on who you're in a match with, but more often than not, whenever you're doing Clash, you've got people that are just sitting back and sniping the entire time. All of this rushing around and just trying to find people and being team shot and having to go against multiple attackers all at once. It's crazy. You've got to keep your head on a swivel and run and jump around so much in this game mode. It's very crazy, very hectic, and chances are, if you're worried about your KD went down the toilet here, and there's nothing you can do about it aside from just not playing this game mode. And if KD is that important to you, chances are you're not going to play that, and you'll be just fine and just happy. For me, I'm all about just the loot, so I don't care if my KD goes down to 0.1, which it's not that far away from anyway. But I want to go in, I want to get the loot, I want to have some fun. So Iron Banner overall, I like the change. And let's talk about some of the other changes. The bounty changes and the leveling changes, yes, absolutely. Now, whenever I was leveling my first character, my Hunter, I was not exactly sure if I was going to like this. I wasn't sure. Yes, I was completing those bounties, but those bounties, they were worth such a low amount of reputation that I was like, man, are we going to have catch-up bonuses on my second 2 characters? Because I didn't know. I didn't know if there were going to be catch-up bonuses or not, and I was thinking, holy crap, I have to do so many Iron Banner matches, and I have to get so many wins in order to rank up my characters that I don't know if I'm going to have time. I don't know if I was going to have time, and I was going to say, wow, yeah, you know what, if you need this many wins, these changes to the Iron Banner were going to be bad, because previously, in the old Iron Banner, it was ranking up using your bounties. Wins were only a secondary way to go ahead and level up. But thankfully, whenever I got to my second 2 characters, my Warlock and my Titan, I realized that there were indeed catch-up bonuses going on. So because I had one character all the way ranked up, it was really extremely easy getting my Warlock and Titan ranked up. I was getting basically double the points from turning in my bounties, and in fact on my Warlock, who was my second character, I leveled him up far too far inside actual Iron Banner matches whenever I could have just went home and done the bounties. Now let's get started. We've got a long way to go still. We've got to turn in some of our stuff. Like I said, this is my Hunter, so right now I'm just turning in my bounties right here because I want to just get leveled up as quick as I can, get ranked up past rank 3, there we go, and turning in our final one. Okay, so we've got a long way to go still on my Hunter, but we've got some loot. We've got some awesome loot, so we're going to go check out the loot. We're going to go pick up our bounty package rewards, and we're starting off here with the Distant Star. the 386 scout rifle that is in the Mida mold. So I definitely want to try this thing out. I tried it for a match or two in Iron Banner. It didn't work out for me. It really didn't work out for me. It just wasn't made for that. But I've got hand-laid stock and high caliber rounds. I'm absolutely going to be using those. I think that should be a fun roll together. So you probably noticed in my clips earlier that I was using the Binding Blaze sidearm just a little bit, mainly because it was 386 light and I wanted to have my light as high as possible for my end game rewards. But this isn't that bad. This isn't that bad overall. The middle perks are just kind of so-so, but I have a little bit of extra range and reactive reload, so it's not that bad. It is a faster firing sidearm though. It's a faster firing one, so it's a little bit weaker but fires off extremely quick. We also got these boots, 385 boots, and they are not better than the ones that I already have. And as far as the look of them, I just don't dig the look of those. Those look really odd. They don't look like they mesh well together. It's just, okay, we've got some regular racing pants or something, and then suddenly we're going to tape up our legs and strap chainmail to them. I don't know. I'm not a fan of that aesthetic at all. And take a look at our helmet. It's my first Iron Banner helmet, and it is not going to be something that I wear either. I'm going to use this to infuse something up, though I do like the look of this. This one isn't that bad. This one's not too bad. So I kind of like the look of it, but I don't really need it, so I'm going to use it as infusion fuel for something else. And now we're going to turn in our rank 3 package, and we end up getting a chest piece, an Iron Banner chest piece. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. It is 385 light, and yet again, it's not exactly a stat monster or anything like that, but we're going to take a look at it, and yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of chainmail going on with this stuff. It's okay looking, but it's like chainmail, and then we've got some stitches of leather in it. I don't know. I think I'm going to pass. I'm going to use that to infuse something else up as well. And finally, for our hunter, we've got our rank 5 package. We've got the Silvered Dread, and when we take a look at it, it is actually a heavy machine gun at 385 light. So let's take a look at this. I really like this Unending Deluge that I've got on. It's of the Corrective Measure mold, and oh man, look at that. So I saw a lot of other streamers and YouTubers end up looking at their gear, and maybe it was just taking the shader of that big Iron Banner on fire. And when I take a look at it after I walk away a little bit, it is still glowing gold. Now, it's really not glowing gold, but for some reason the shader is just all messed up in this area. But we're going to take a look at it anyway. Perfect balance, that increases that stability, kind of like that. Quick draw, okay, quick draw in single point sling, I could move that up a lot quicker, so that's actually pretty nice, getting to aim down my sights quicker. And counterbalance is decent, though I don't know if I'm going to keep it around, and you'll see why in just a little bit. Now moving on to our Warlock, the second character, here we are at rank 3. Like I said, I ranked up my Warlock just a little bit further than I actually needed to, again, not knowing if there were really catch-up bonuses going on. So we turn in our rank 3 package, and we get our 385 boots. So the Warlock boots, they look okay. They're better overall than the Hunter ones that we just saw, but I don't think I'm going to keep them around. The stat rolls on them are just so-so, so I'm going to use those as infusion fuel as well. Now turning in our bounties, again, this is where you're going to get the maximum influx of loot, and I have so many legendary marks, I really should have just used them ahead of time, because I pretty much wasted my chance of getting all of those marks anyway. And after we go ahead and rank up, we can see that we hit our rank 5 as well, and we ended up getting a rocket launcher. Now we're going to go through the inventory, of course, and this is the Silver Dread that I just got, and I think it's actually a little bit better. So if I go ahead and look here, I've got Brace Frame, which is going to lower my magazine, which I do not like, but I have Extended Mag, which is actually going to bump my magazine back up to where it is right now, so I can gain all that extra stability without losing anything in the magazine. And it has persistence, and I'm a big fan of persistence on my heavy machine guns, definitely, I really like that. Now let's move on to our Titanium Orchid. So this rocket launcher looks pretty sweet. We've got Javelin to really up that velocity a lot. Snapshot isn't that bad actually, and Snapshot and Tracking is probably a pretty nice combination. Now I really don't like rocket launchers not named the Gjallarhorn in PvE, I just don't like them. I don't think they deal out enough damage, but in PvP they're definitely a solid option. And this one might not be that bad. It doesn't have grenades and horseshoes, but it might not be that bad. Moving on to our special weapon, we've got the Laughing Heart. So this sniper rifle, I don't like it as much as my But Not Forgotten that I got from the Archon's Forge. It's basically the same type of look, but I like my But Not Forgotten far, far better. Triple Tap's really nice, it just doesn't have the same impact as But Not Forgotten. Again, really weird, they're very, very similar looking guns, stats, very, very different. These unbent trees, those are actually ones that I picked up from just general game rewards, not from these packages. And we're moving on to our helmets. 385 helmet here. That is a unique looking helmet for sure. A unique looking helmet. I would keep one around, except for the fact that I just don't think that they're going to work as well. In this one, 387, I can definitely use that 387-14 infusion fuel. The stats on it, the stat rolls are just terrible. So I'm definitely going to use that as infusion fuel. And finally, we get to move on to our Titan. Now, I learned a little bit from my Warlock one that I didn't need to complete as many matches, get as many wins in order to rank up. We're here at rank 3, and we get ourselves some boots. So we've been getting boots, definitely, and just taking a look at these, they are 386, that's very good. I'm going to move those on to another character and use those as infusion fuel as well. Finally, turning in our bounties, you can see that I didn't get up as high as I was before, but still, I way over-leveled. I over-leveled way too far in the Iron Banner. And I just maxed out really quickly turning in those bounties. So the catch-up bonuses are for real and very nice and very well received. So as far as the loot, this Lingering Song hand cannon is pretty awesome. Snapshot, Hammer Forged, and Rangefinder, that's definitely what you want to see on a hand cannon. This thing has got impact for days. So I really want to try it out in PvP a little bit and see how it handles. It's got range, it's got all the range that you could need on a hand cannon, and that is the number one thing that you want on hand cannons. Definitely want that range. Now I think we have to move on next to our heavy weapon. There it is, we got another Silver Dread, and just comparing it to the last one that I picked up. So as far as this one, it's got hand-laid stock, so you get more stability at the cost of range. I could get an extended magazine, and I've got counterbalance, but I really like persistence a little bit better. So I'm going to use this one and probably the first one as infusion fuel for something else. Maybe maxing out my Gjallarhorn, maybe maxing out my Sleeper Simulant. I also ended up getting a helmet. My first Titan helmet, the helmet with all the horns. Let's take a look at this thing. And yeah, there we go. That is a helmet with some horns. I'm going to use that to infuse into something else as well. I don't think that I'm keeping around any of my Iron Banner gear. None of the stat rolls or perk rolls ended up being just absolutely amazing. And some of them, like this 386 chest piece, would help me to level up something else. Now I actually ended up putting this into my legendary piece of Titan gear because I feel like it's always nice to have a legendary piece of gear at high level. Finally, for our last little bit of loot, something that I almost forgot, it is our rank 5 Titan package. And we actually ended up picking up the fusion rifle, the branded Lord. So let's take a look at this thing. Wow, this thing has got reload speed for sure. It's really fast charge rate and very low impact. Wow, even lower with accelerated coils. Holy crap. I don't know how that would work. That looks like a 6-shotter for sure. We'll have to wait and see. It looks like I can really up that range, get a little bit of stability, and then I can really up that range with rangefinder as well. I don't know. Gonna have to take a look and see if that's a 6-bolt or a 5-bolt kill. But those are all the different loots from the Iron Banner. Did you get a ton of loot? You had to. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and smack that like button and subscribe to the channel. Check out these awesome videos. Good luck with your raids, your drops, your Iron Banner, and I'll see you around in Destiny. Loot for days. Loot for days.